Hey there, it's Dave at NoRecipeRequired, and tonight I'm going to do a pork marsala for you. Now you've probably heard of chicken marsala. It's that obviously chicken dish with some marsala wine and mushrooms. It's absolutely awesome. Well, you can obviously do the same thing with other meats. Tonight we're going to use a pork tenderloin that will cut into medallions, so you get nice little pieces of pork on the plate and that rich, wonderful sauce. Really easy to do. I think you're going to love it. Let's get to it. Okay, so we're going to start our pork marsala with a little bit of mushroom. Actually, maybe not a little bit. That's probably a cup. I'm using a mixture of shiitake mushrooms and cremini mushrooms simply because that's what I had. You can use kind of whatever you want. Throw them in there with a little bit of olive oil, enough to coat the pan. And I want to saute these down until they're nice golden brown, kind of crispy on the edges. Salt and a little bit of pepper. And this is really the first step. We're going to come back, add the pork after we cook the mushrooms. Okay, once the mushrooms are cooked off, I'm just going to pull them out of the pan and save, just tip it like that. If there's a little bit of oil in there, we're going to use that to sear the pork in. Once I get these out, we're going to come back, we're going to sear our pork tenderloin. Okay, so we drained out, or we removed our mushrooms, a little bit of oil. I think there's enough oil in the pan for my pork medallions. Now this is a tenderloin that I just cut into like 1 inch, maybe 1.5 inch thick pieces. You want to make sure the pan is nice and hot, although not screaming hot. Because one of the techniques you got to be aware of, or one of the concerns you got to be aware of, is the leftover kind of bits from the mushrooms are on the bottom. And if you go too hot, those could actually scorch. You want to just kind of keep them nice and brown. So I'm over medium heat. And I'm going to let these go for about 5 minutes on this one side. Don't move them, don't touch them, let them get that nice caramelized. Then we're going to flip them over, finish them off, and make our sauce. Okay, so my pork medallions have been going now for like 5 minutes, and I can see on the edges they're starting to cook. I can see kind of moisture coming up and pushing through, which is exactly what I want, and that's when I'm going to turn them. I'm going to go in reverse order for the, at least I'm going to try anyway, for the, in the order I put them down, just to make sure they all kind of get as even a cooking time as possible. And if you get that nice kind of crust caramelization, then you're not going to end up with any sticking. Let me get them all turned, and we're going to go for about the same amount of time on this side. That was a little extra piece that I threw in there. Around the same amount of time. I want to make sure, again, you don't really fiddle with them because I want to get that nice crust on the other side. And this is going to cook them just about all the way through. You may need to pop them in the oven. So I've got a preheated oven at 400 degrees for 3 or 4 minutes just to make sure that they are, get up to like that 140 degree point in the center. Okay, so my pork is cooked through. I don't think it needs to go in the oven. So I'm just going to pull it out and set it on a holding plate. And it's important, one of the things you want to do is, A, let the meat rest. The other thing for cooking is you want to make sure all these medallions are cut about the same size so that they cook at the same rate. And once we have them out, we've got all this wonderful flavor in there, which we're going to use in our sauce. I've got a shallot and a couple cloves of garlic there. If you've got like rosemary, thyme, it would be awesome in this dish. I happen not to have any, but certainly throw it in. I'll probably put it on when I write the recipe up. And I'm just going to saute these until the onions or until the shallots just soften a tiny, tiny bit, probably 2 minutes. And then we'll come back and add our marsala wine. We let our shallot and garlic soften up. If there were herbs in there, they would be nicely perfumed. I'm going to add back my mushrooms that we sauteed earlier. Put in about a 1/4 cup of marsala wine to deglaze the pan. And deglazing the pan, it takes up all those yummy bits, round bits on the bottom of the pan. You really want to take a wooden spoon and just work all of those up. You don't have to go crazy or nuts with it. The heat and the liquid itself will do most of the work. And I'm just going to bring this to a boil and let the marsala cook down by about half, maybe 3/4. And then we're going to add some chicken stock. Okay, so our marsala has cooked down. I'm going to add about the same amount, maybe a touch more, chicken stock. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to let this reduce down. If anything kind of left up on the side and caramelized there, just do a quick scrape down. And this, again, will probably take 2 or 3 minutes. We've got our chicken stock nicely reduced And I'm just going to add back our pork. This is going to, you know, ideally you kind of keep it either on the stovetop or maybe in a 200-degree oven or so. And this is going to help incorporate, you know, all the sauce, the flavors, and kind of reheat the pork just a little tiny bit. I'm going to let this go for about a minute. We'll remove it, add a touch of butter, and plate it up. Okay, so I'm going to pull the rest of my pork, or the pork, back out of the pan. I got a nice little amount of liquid in there. I'm going to kill the heat, finish it off with about a tablespoon, maybe a tablespoon and a half of butter, and just stir that in. And that's going to give a nice kind of glossy finish to the sauce. You want to make sure you give the sauce a quick taste. For seasoning, I think this is right on. If it ever gets too thin, just add a little bit, sorry, too thick, just add a little bit more chicken stock and you're good to go. Let's plate this up. Okay, let's go ahead and plate up our pork medallions Marsala, made with this that beautiful tenderloin. We've got our Marsala sauce. We can just kind of lay right over the top. Beautiful sauteed mushrooms. And then I'm serving mine with a little bit of asparagus. I'll see you next time on No Recipe Required.